Well, good morning, guys, and welcome to the show, Fernando.
Welcome to the show, guys.
Today we are starting a series, the continuing series, I should say, on LX amplifiers. These are the new amplifiers from Kicker that we've been waiting for forever. We have them now, and there's a ton of new features. If you're interested, we've done a bunch of videos on the LX 1300.7 7-channel amplifier. Ton of videos, dynos, how it works, the controller, all those fun things. We've got that, but now we've got the 850.1. We're gonna take a look at all the mono amplifier features that are built into, well, the 4 channels and the 5 channels and the 7 channels, but we're gonna just focus on the mono. In today's video, I'm excited about this one because I'm a big fan of this feature, and today we're gonna talk about Shockwave 2.0. This is a new feature that comes in these amplifiers, but before we do that, let's open this thing up and see what's inside. When you get your new LX amplifier, all of them will come with this cool piece of paper here, which is the burn-in sheet. This is not just something that happens. This is something that Kicker does with all of their amplifiers. They have test equipment that does this. And even if you send your amplifier back for some unforeseen event that it should be repaired, they'll do another burn-in sheet for you upon request. They do them right there in-house. We've shown you how it works. We've taken you there. And if you're like, wait, no, go watch our travel video we did at their headquarters and you could see them actually doing this. This one comes in at 960 watts. Lots of foam inside of this box. Right over here, we have the cable for our controller, which we'll need for this video. Our new controller, which we did a whole video just focused on this, so check that out if you're trying to figure out what it can do for you. And then the amplifier itself is buried in this tons of foam. And it's heavy. All the way in the bottom here is one more piece of paper. This is your high-level input, your Allen keys, screws the mount of the amplifier down, and they have their voltage sheet. Even though this amplifier has distortion detection built into it with a light that turns on when you're adjusting it so that you can properly set up your gains, if you'd like to do voltage gain setting, you can also do it, and this piece of paper tells you the voltage you need to dial into. So they got you covered on all fronts. This is our 850.1. This is our cool knob. In case you didn't know, this piece comes up so that you can flip it around. This piece comes off so you can access your controls. And that's where we want to get to. The plan today is to take a look at the output and how Shockwave treats the music. But first off, we need to tell you what Shockwave 2.0 actually is, because Kicker has put together a great explanation for it. And well, hey, that means I'm going to read it to you because nobody likes to read. Shockwave 2.0 is a proprietary logarithm that is used in the new LX amplifiers to restore bass and bring life back to your favorite music. That is the best opening line, because what that means, I'm an 80s rock guy. I love some 70s, but really 80s is where it happens. And there's not a lot of bass in that music, and I want my bass. This will help me. It does this by analyzing the audio signal that is being fed into the Kicker LX amplifier subwoofer channel. It analyzes the sub-bass signal below 160 Hertz, and then it generates harmonics at a multitude of the fundamental bass frequencies that are present in the audio track being played. That means it's trying to make it sound more natural and lifelike, even though it's giving us bass where bass has never been. Unlike the previous generation Shockwave on the legendary KXA amplifiers that would generate a harmonics at 1 octave below the dominant frequency, the new and improved Shockwave 2.0 generates harmonics on each side of the dominant frequency. This technology in Shockwave 2.0 brings back the low sub bass you were missing, as well as the natural harmonics that would normally be included in the music, making for a very natural sounding bass enhancement. Now that we know that, we have a good understanding of what Shockwave is supposed to do, we're gonna show that to you on an RTA so you can kind of get an idea some of the situations that you might find it useful in. Because not all of them are just gonna be for that. Like, music is great, but we have a bunch of other problems that we need to deal with inside of a car where Shockwave might come in handy. We have a ton of scenarios set up that we're gonna run through and show you how this is all gonna work. Let's explain what is on the test bench though. First off, stuff. Obviously the 850.1 gain turned to where it needs to be to run off of the phone. We're using our IRTA2 single channel coming out of the radio, and that is how we are seeing what is happening here on the iPad. Keep in mind, this amplifier is crossed over at 160 Hertz. That is as high as we can go. The phone is playing the Educar Test and Tune Mono Pink Noise app. So if we shut that off, it goes away. Turn it back on. We have our pink noise. Now all of this is being looped through a DSP off screen. That is so that we can add some of the filtering that we want to add to emulate some factory effect. Right now it is set to off. The first test that we want to show you is this is what our signal looks like just playing right now. It's just doing what it does. Everything is good. We have our bass knob. Our signal is coming in. If we tap it once, it's going to show us our gain. And if we turn up that, which is just volume, it's not the actual gain on the amplifier, it's just volume. So we can crank up the volume and we can see that getting more. If we turn it down to where it was, we come back down to a reasonable level. Pretty simple there. If we tap it once and tap it twice, that illuminates shock right here. If we turn up shock, we're going to start to see over there how it kind of fills in that low frequency. Those harmonics are also happening, and it filled in that area. Let's go back, take a look here. So normal pink noise, it's doing some goofy stuff. And then we start with the shock, and it starts to fill that in. And like that's at shock, a little past half. And you can see here what that looks really, really nice. And this is what it's going to be doing to your music. And speaking of music, let's roll shock back down and we'll switch over to some music. Queued up, I have my favorite band of all time, Van Halen. As you can see, there's just a drum doing its little thing, and this is all we got happening. We can turn up the gain. We can have more of it, but it's really not that exciting. We'll put our gain back down to where it was. It was right about there. Now if we go to shock and we turn shock up, okay, we can just see all of that just filled in. So we just increased that bass response drastically. Look as it's starting to actively get fuller as the processor works its way through it. Let's go back some. This was never there before. So all of this is new. We go back and we remove it all. And this is where we started. None of that action. None. Where's it going? Bye. There's no bass. Now another scenario that you could possibly run into that would really benefit is we'll play the pink noise again. Our level's where it was. So we have that pink noise playing. Hey, you know, I listen to music that's fine. It has plenty of bass. What if your car doesn't have plenty of bass? So what if it has a high pass filter in it? A lot of the cars nowadays do. So we'll turn on a high pass filter. All of a sudden, this is what the signal looks like now. Kind of looks like that Van Halen track we were looking at, but this is what's coming out of your car. All right, so level, we could of course turn the level up, and we'd still be missing all of this information over here, which is kind of suck. So if we go to shock, and we kick up the shock, boom. It just filled in that high pass filter that's coming from your radio. So now we have a much flatter response than we did before. So we can use shock to fix the high pass filtering done in the factory radio. And we'll turn that filter off. And as you can see, it goes back to normal and everything is wonderful. Now, of course, no test would be complete as far as when we're talking about harmonic restoration without tapping into Fernando's phone over here and playing some banda music. There's other genres that we need to consider, and as we said before, banda is, well, one of those genres that harmonic restoration is very important for, because it looks like this, which means there's no bass. It's no fun whatsoever. So let's see what shock does to that. So we'll start playing the music, and as we can see, there's very little action happening over here, but as we go into shock and we start to turn that up, holy cow, we can see what's happening here. This is bringing back all that amazing deep bass that music has never had, and well, the only way to get it is with harmonic restoration. Fantastic, right, Fernando?
That is correct.
I mean, heck yeah. The new LX amplifiers with Shockwave 2.0 and some of the things that you can use it for to make your sound experience that much better. Now, at the beginning we said this was part 1, and it is. Next up, we're gonna look at this feature over here, which is also one of my favorites, which is called bass boost. We're gonna take a look at that and see how that happens, but that's another video. This is all we got for you today. Fernando, if you please.
On to the next one, guys.
Thank you guys so much for watching. We hope you enjoy these. Let us know in the comments, of course, and we'll see you guys next time. Bye.